Hello, and welcome to my video. I think I'm going to start off first with what's been going on with the evergreen. So basically, we left off. Well, if you don't know what the evergreen was a ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal in Egypt. And basically, it had been stuck there for days and backed up a bunch of boats that were trying to get through. And so what happened was it finally got freed, and then it got ordered to be inspected by the Egyptian president in the Red Sea. So they were on their way down there, and then it got ordered to stay there for 4 days for the inspection, and then all the crew members got ordered to be on house arrest. Coincidence? I think not, considering that we know a lot of celebrities who are rumored to be on house arrest as well. So let me pull up that, and while we do that, I can go over what. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. We can look up what's been going on with the Q drops and all that stuff. If you don't know what QAnon is, I'll explain it quick. QAnon, or Q, was a anonymous user on the board 8chan. 8chan, basically, Q was an anonymous user who was basically just, putting up a bunch of predictions, like for what was going on with Donald Trump's presidency. I mean, this guy predicted things right down to the January 6th insurrection, his impeachment, a lot of different things. Also was he also predicted a lot of the stuff that's been going on here with the evergreen. So this is big news. And if you're not aware of what QAnon is basically about, it's basically he is looking to expose the Illuminati, deep state. Donald Trump called it the swamp the whole time that he was in office, draining the swamp, things of that nature. And basically, they are a group of government officials, Hollywood stars. I mean, all of them who basically, I mean, it's our mainstream media, CEOs, it's our platforms that we go on Facebook, things like that, our social media platforms. Those CEOs, they're involved in it. And basically what they do is they're involved in trafficking of children, adults. They also are into harvesting them for adrenochrome. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, please go look it up. And hold on, now that this is
today, evergiven crew may be under house arrest and face charges. A formal investigation into the cause of the accident has been launched. The evergiven may no longer be trapped, but its crew might not be so lucky. The 25-strong crew of Indian nationals of a massive cargo ship that had blocked the Suez Canal on March the 23rd and sparked a global economic disaster until it was freed Monday might be facing house arrest or even criminal charges in Egypt, the Times of India reported. According to shipping industry insiders, it is possible the evergiven's captain and some of the crew could be placed under house arrest as an investigation into the accident is launched. And many in both the shipping industry and the Indian government are worried that will happen. There's a clear danger that the crew will be made scapegoats, National Shipping Board member Captain Sanjay Prashar told Times of India. So this is really interesting that this has the potential of happening, especially in light of the fact what I reported from various anons and content creators on Rumble and elsewhere about, what Q has talked about for so many years. Evergreen Shipping Company, which owned the Evergiven, being tied to child sex trafficking. Now it looks like, at least the Times of India is speculating and very worried that these Indian nationals are going to be arrested, placed under house arrest as this investigation is ongoing out there in the Bitter Lake region of Egypt. Now, speaking of Bitter Lake, a subscriber sent this to me yesterday. Hi again, Daniel. I got curious and decided to look up Bitter Lake, where they took that previously stuck barge for inspection, and found that they made a film in 2015 about some very interesting things. Please check it out. So I went to the Bitter Lake posting on Wikipedia. It's a film that was made.
So basically, it's like a film called The Storm, which we know that Donald Trump, that was like one of his famous words. Like, this is the calm before the storm. Q talks a lot about the storms and all that stuff. And like I said, if you don't know what QAnon is, please, you can go to Q Alerts. You might not be able to find it on Google because Google blocks a lot of that stuff. So you can go to DuckDuckGo, look up Q Alerts, and you can basically just look at every single Q drop that he has ever dropped, and then you can see what we are talking about. It is not coincidence. It's not coincidence. It's no longer a coincidence when you go back and you look at what he posted like years ago, and then you go back and you look and see what happened on January 6th, which was the insurrection of the Capitol, the storming of the Capitol. It was called on Q. I mean, it's no longer a coincidence when they say about the impeachment, Michael Flynn. I mean, all this stuff that has happened that Q predicted has been happening right along, which is just so crazy. So to me, it's no longer a conspiracy. It's like conspiracy fact at this point, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read some things that George News dropped on his last live stream. If you don't know what George News is, um, JFK Jr., he started George News magazine before he died. And if you know JFK Jr., Donald J. Trump, they were both best friends. And if you have been following the QAnon conspiracy, then you know that a lot of the Anons believe that JFK Jr. is still alive, and they believe that they talk to us through George News. I mean, because it is his magazine, right? And gee, George News has made some pretty crazy predictions too, which I believe that George News is just the new place where we're getting Q drops because on 8chan's no longer available, and obviously, he doesn't post there anymore. I do believe that this is what he's posting now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read some of these drops to you on what they predicted. And then there was one drop that he made that he retracted right away, and I didn't have time to screenshot it, but it was basically about Biden not being in office much longer, which I think we kind of know that, you know. So the first thing he said was, we tried to get a hold of the shoes, which are the little Nas shoes. They wanted to destroy them publicly, and then he dropped the new 45office.com. So yeah, that's what he dropped. Yes, Matt is being set up, and he's talking about Matt Gaetz. If you're not familiar with that, you can go ahead and Google what's going on with Matt Gaetz. He's basically, his family's being blackmailed. And then he says that he just watched the film Rudy again earlier today, hashtag 45. I do believe that the one in yellow is Donald Trump talking, and then the ones in blue, I think, is JFK. Even the few that actually voted for China Joe are turning against them. World leaders are making fun of us. Donald J. Trump is still publicly speaking to us. The world is watching. He will be back. And that's what he posted there. They think they got away with it, which I do think they think that, Ever since the failed Biden press briefing, his office has been busy putting out dozens of ICYMI and press releases, re-policies, and achievements they have made. They know public needs convincing, which is true. I think we all need convincing that these people are in control. And then it says that our voices are greater now than they ever were on Twitter, which we know what's been going on with Twitter. And then this is a weird one. I didn't quite get it. Question: if the 44th administration continued back channel chats with the world during the last 5 years, is it possible that we are still in contact with them too? Just a question. Which, why would they be in contact with the Obama administration? It's just weird, right? And then it says, and then promiseskept.com is still up for a reason. Which promises made, promises kept, blah, blah, blah. Why are they attacking Matt? Hashtag setup. And then we did find out the next day that Matt Gaetz, his family, is basically just being blackmailed for money. Do you really think that 45 will just walk away from this? It's far from over. Hashtag promises made. So, I mean, Promises made, promises kept, be 1, 2, or 5 years down the line. And then, like, everyone in the chat just started going crazy because we don't really have 5 years to wait for Donald Trump to come back. This country will no longer be a thing if that's the case. So then he said, Q, yes, there are many working for you, many that will not rest until it's been made right, which is a good thing. And then, of course, the smartass that he is said, FYI, 1, 2, or 5 years down the line started at date 2015/2016. Thank God, because we cannot wait 5 years for Donald Trump to come back to save this country. And then it says, would you rather feel a little frustrated or have them have the playbook? We are confident and always have been. And then that was that drop there. And then he said, what will happen? Of course, they'll be forced to cover every word out of their ratings need this. And he's talking about mainstream media because Donald Trump is coming out with his own social media platform where he's not going to be able to be silenced or censored, which is good. We have never been in this position before where our voice is guaranteed to be heard and not censored, which is just amazing because I know that we're all sick of that. And then he said, we said this earlier, Florida to lead the way. So if we take a look at what's going on in Florida, I believe what he means by that is what every state is eventually going to be following. Like we're all going to be following what's going on in Florida, which is what we need to happen. And then that was the end of the chat, except for the one chat that he had retracted, which was that Biden is not going to be in office much longer. And I think we kind of know that because, I mean, I know that there's an impeachment coming his way from Marjorie Green. And I do think that they're making him look more and more incompetent every day. I mean, that press briefing was just a complete mess, and we know that. So, yeah, if we go and like I said, if you go and you look at the Q alerts, the Q drops for the last 4 years, and just look at everything that has led up to this point, you'll understand completely like what I'm talking about right now. And what Donald Trump and what Q mean by draining the swamp is basically, I don't know if you're aware of this, it's been called deep state, the cabal, Illuminati, whatever the heck you want to call it. But basically, a lot of our government officials, our mainstream media CEOs, our social media CEOs, all of them are involved in this trafficking ring, pedophilia, sex trafficking ring. It also involves a lot of satanic ritual worship and the harvesting of adrenochrome. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, please go and look it up. I don't have the heart to explain it, and my kids are awake, and I refuse to explain what that is. It is the most disgusting thing in the world. But apparently a lot of our Hollywood stars and government like to use it because it's so rejuvenating and it makes you look great. It's disgusting. But yeah, I'm going to sign off now. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.